Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the brand new Nike Air Zoom BB NXT. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Air Zoom BB NXT features this multi-directional traction pattern. It kind of like waves, and there's actually like two pivot sections up in the toe box area, or up in the forefoot section I should say. There are these two little areas on the traction where it kind of like acts as pivot circles, and the traction on this shoe is insane. If you guys are playing on clean courts, you guys are gonna have no problems whatsoever. If you guys are playing on your dustier courts, you will have to wipe, because the traction on this shoe is really just like that good that even though you know the pattern itself is relatively wide, so it doesn't really trap dust inside or in between the grooves, but because of the rubber compound, it's just so tacky that dust actually just gets stuck right onto the traction itself. And because of that, you will have to wipe, because it will pick up that dust, you know. And usually it's a quick wipe and you guys should be fine, but sometimes the dust, I don't really know why sometimes this happens, but sometimes the dust will actually kind of get stuck to the shoe like pretty well, and you will have to do like some really hard wipes in order to get a majority of that dust off. But like I said, most of the time just a quick wipe and you guys should be good to go. If you guys are playing on those dustier courts, clean courts, you guys are gonna have no problems whatsoever. The bite is ridiculous, it's insane. You guys are gonna stop on a dime. Linearly or laterally, the traction has got you covered. The traction on the Air Zoom BB NXT is really nice. So moving on to the cushion, the Air Zoom BB NXT features a full-length React midsole with two forefoot zoom units, very similar to what's featured in the LeBron line. And this shoe, you know, if you guys are looking for that impact protection, this has got you covered. Like, if you guys can see, this is a thick slab of React, and the cushion in this shoe is freaking amazing. If you guys want that impact protection, this has got you covered. It is nice and spongy, plush, and it's just super comfortable. Because of how thick it is though, you do feel a little bit high off the ground, and you do lack a little bit of court feel just because of how much cushion is in this shoe. So if you guys want to have, you know, that very responsive cushioning, I would say, you know, you do feel pretty responsive in this shoe. Obviously not as much as, you know, something with way less cushion, but I'd say responsiveness in the shoe for how much cushion this actually has is pretty good. You do feel, like I said, you do feel high off the ground, so court feel is definitely not as great. Responsiveness is still there, and impact protection is also really amazing in this shoe. The pattern in the midsole does look like React that's like featured in the running shoes, and overall in general, this whole shoe just gives that runner aesthetic. Personally, I've never worn those shoes, so I can't really say how similar in feeling it is to those running models, but the cushion in the shoe is amazing. If you guys want that impact protection, this has definitely got you covered. If you want that plush slash like bounciness up in the forefoot, this has also got you covered. This cushioning setup is honestly insane. So moving on to the materials, the Air Zoom BB NXT features like this textile upper. It kind of feels like a knit, but I don't think it's actually a knit. I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, but the materials, you know, they are pretty nice. Definitely not as nice as something up in this like price range. It is a very pricey shoe, but overall, you know, the materials, they feel fine on feet for me. The materials feel very supportive, and overall they feel great on foot. To the touch, they also feel pretty good as well. You do have some hits of this like rubber or some kind of maybe rubber or plastic or something. I'm really not sure, but if y'all can see it, this detail right here is not just knit, it's some kind of like harder material that they add for, I guess, like extra structure, but also for the increased durability. The tongue on the shoe is definitely mesh, and it is a nicely padded tongue. You know, I didn't really feel the laces digging through onto my foot, because, you know, I do like to crank down my laces, and yeah, I didn't have that feeling at all. And they also do supply you with nice wide laces on the shoe. So, you know, overall materials on the shoe, you know, definitely not the most premium, but they are very nice. So moving on to the fit, I'd say that the Air Zoom BB NXT runs true to size. Personally, you know, I am a slightly wide footer, and I felt perfectly fine going true to size. There were at times I could feel like a little bit of pain in like around my pinky toe area, right where this Nike swoosh ends right here. And I tried to figure out why it felt like that. And if you feel like underneath the material right here, where I guess the swoosh ends, there's like a stitch on the inside of the shoe that kind of like dug into my foot. But like I said, it was only at times, and that I think maybe I just got used to the pain, or it just went away as the material stretched out. But that's just one thing I wanted to note for you guys who are slightly wide footers to hella wide footers. Maybe if you guys are like really wide footers, go true to size and get yourself a pair that's half size up and just return whichever one doesn't fit. Because honestly, I think having a good fitting shoe, especially in this shoe, like if you don't get the right size, then you're definitely going to lose out on some of the awesome aspects of this shoe. And yeah, just make sure you guys get your right size. Overall, I'd say that the fit in the shoe is really good. So moving on to the support, this is the one area of the shoe that I probably like the least, and that's because of like just how high this cushion setup is and how much cushion is in the shoe. I did feel some instability, especially on hard lateral movements, only sometimes, not all the time. And I couldn't really pinpoint, when I would feel those issues. It would just be on like some really hard crosses, some like here and there, I would feel that instability, and I would kind of feel like maybe the cushion is like compressing or something weird. So my foot would like roll, and that didn't feel too great. But like I said, that wasn't all the time. Outside of that, everything else support wise was perfectly fine. I didn't feel my foot sliding on the footbed, except for those times where I had like that compression problem, I guess. And in terms of like heel area, the heel felt very, very locked in. You do have this nice internal heel counter, and there's a lot of like additional padding in the back. So your heel's not going anywhere, you're locked in. As far as torsional rigidity and stability goes, this thing has got you covered. There is an internal shank plate, and you can actually see like the plastic piece right here through the bottom of the shoe. So, other than that support issue that I mentioned from like, I guess it's like over compression on the lateral side of maybe like the Zoom unit or something, yeah, I'd say support was pretty good. The Air Zoom BB NXT retails for $180, and that is a very, very hefty price. But for 180 bucks, would I recommend it? If you're interested in the shoe and you want to see how this new tech feels, then I'd say go for it. The only issue I really had was that instability issue on some lateral movements, and outside of that, it was very, very comfortable. But if you guys, want a low to the ground cushion with a lot of court feel, this is definitely not the shoe to get. And also, it's 180 bucks. That's a steep price point. You can definitely get a lot of better shoes for way cheaper that are out on the market right now. So just keep that in mind. But the traction is amazing on the shoe. The materials, they could be better, but they're not bad and they do the job just fine. But the cushion on the shoe is amazing, especially if you like having, the newest tech and having that impact protection. You will definitely like the Air Zoom BB NXT. So if this is something that you've been eyeing and you don't mind any of the things that I told you that I personally didn't like or that I had problems with, then I'd say go for it, because I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy the shoe. That's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. Also smash that thumbs up button for me, as it really does help me out. Check out this video on my left, check out this video on my right, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.